सत्प्रत्ययाः किन्नु विहाय सन्तं हृद्येष चिन्तारहितो हृदाख्यः कथं स्मरामस्तममेयमेकं तस्य स्मृतिस्तत्र दृढैव निष्ठा मृत्युञ्जयं मृत्युभियाश्रितानाम् अहं मतिर्मृत्युमुपैति पूर्वम् अथ स्वभावादमृतेषु तेषु कथं पुनर्मृत्युधियोऽवकाशः.
The minute he opens his eyes, man sees the world around him. From modern science, he learns how to master the forces of nature. Yet, man passes through birth, old age, and death without knowing who he truly is. The quest for self-knowledge lies at the heart of the Vedas and the Upanishads, the sacred scriptures of India. For the rishis, the ancient Vedic seers, as well as for contemporary teachers of Vedanta, the question, "Who am I really?" represents both the beginning and the end of all wisdom.
Well, the modern concept of the self is almost universally identified with the individual self, or if you wish, the personal self. When we speak about ourselves, we speak about a self that is different from all other selves by definition. So self-realization in the modern world means the unfolding of one's potentialities as an individual, precisely. Whereas in the Hindu traditional vision, the self refers to the universal and divine self that transcends our little self. So that's a huge difference, of course, and there are often misunderstandings that arise from misreadings of what the self means in Hindu text. When modern readers who are unprepared would read about the Atman or the self in traditional text, they have to be made aware immediately of the fact that we are not speaking about the individual self, what the Hindus would call the jiva.
अस्माकं सनातन धर्मः भारते सर्वस्मिन्नपि देशे न केवलं भूमण्डले चतुर्दशवपि भुवनेषु सम्यक् भगवता प्रतिष्ठापितः सम्यक् महर्षिभिः परिपालितः स एव धर्मः अस्माकं रक्षकः विद्यते. सोऽयं धर्मः अद्यतनैः हिन्दूमतम् इत्युच्यते. वस्तुतः हिन्दूमतमिति अस्माकं स्वकीयं नाम अस्ति. अन्यैः प्रतिष्ठापितं नाम अस्माकं तु नाम सनातन वैदिक आर्ष धर्ममतम्.
शिवाय नमः, भोलानाथाय नमः, विश्वनाथाय नमः, गौरीपतये नमः. बिल्वपत्रं समर्पयामि सदाशिवाय नमः. धराधरेन्द्र नन्दिनी विलास बन्धु बन्धुराय स्फुरद्दिगन्त सन्तति प्रमोदमान से कृपा कटाक्ष घोरणी निरुद्ध धुर्धरा.
$2,500 years ago, we go back. That is when Adi Guru Shankaracharya was born. Now, the birth of Adi Guru Shankaracharya was in south of India, in a place called Kaladi, which is Kerala. And when he was born, Lord Shiva came in the dream of his parents and asked them, do you want a child who will be only 16 years old, or do you want a child who will have a long life? But he will not be intelligent, he will be like a very dumb child. But the child who will be 16 years old will be a very intelligent child, a spiritual child. After he was born, his father then expired and he was looked after by his mother. His mother was a very pious lady and she looked after him. She loved him a lot. Now, Adi Guru Shankaracharya, the birth that he took was only for dharma. He had to leave his house and then go out into the country, whole of India, to spread the religion, to spread the principles of dharma. So he then left the house and he started preaching. He had to first study. So he went to various big gurus to study. His teacher was Guru Govindpadacharya, who taught him on the banks of the Narmada river, which is in Madhya Pradesh, central India, and that was a very important part of his life, where he spent 3 years there. And he studied the Brahma Sutras, the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita. After he finished his education, he then started traveling, because his mission was to set up centers. He didn't know now how he could do it all alone. So he started with his disciples who started coming to him. And once he started having people follow him, he did it by setting up 4 centers: north of India, south of India, east of India, west of India. And once he set up his centers, his acharyas were then appointed in those 4 centers. And they started then teaching, spreading, and that's how Advaita, which is the Advaita philosophy, was spread by Adi Guru Shankaracharya. Shankaracharyas are appointed not by birth, they are actually elected. Their posts, they have to be educated. They have to be a brahmachari from birth. A Shankaracharya cannot come after he has been married, because only a Dandi sannyasi, who is a monk of the highest order in the Shankaracharya tradition, can become a Shankaracharya.
Last year, for example, Guruji called us to a local place where a mandir was renovated and he was inaugurating the work. And, I found him sitting under a huge banyan tree on a platform, and there were his followers and the local villagers, coming and sitting, and then few people actually coming to him and asking him questions, right? And he was very gently talking to them from this platform with this huge banyan tree above. And really that sort of brings us to this picture of Adi Shankara, the founder of Shankaracharya's order, with his 4 famous disciples. And we are talking hundreds of years ago, and the picture today is the same as the picture that we are looking at.
सम्यक् कुले प्रसूताः ब्राह्मणाः आत्मज्ञानार्थं प्रयतन्ते आत्मज्ञानञ्च शुद्धचित्तस्यैव भवति चित्तस्य शोधनार्थं यज्ञ आदि अनुष्ठानं क्रियते तादृश अनुष्ठानवति कुले समुत्पन्नानाम् अस्माकं ईश्वरानुग्रहात् वेदान्ते वासना जायते तदनन्तरं निविवृत्सा च जायते वैराग्यभक्त्यादिकमपि यदा सञ्जातं तदा सर्वान् परिवारजनान् समुत्सृज्य श्रीसद्गुरोः सकाशं सम्प्राप्य तं शरणम् उपगम्य तस्मात् वयं सन्यासं स्वीकृत्य अधुना सञ्चरामः पारमहंस परिव्राजक मार्गेण।
तो अद्वैत का एक बहुत साधारण और सरल अर्थ है ये जो द्वैत रहित हो, जहाँ दो नहीं बस एक, तो इसकी सिद्धि होती है। लेकिन व्यवहार में द्वैत का पालन किया जाता है। यह आदि शंकराचार्य जी का ही सिद्धांत है कि भावना में अद्वैत रखना चाहिए, व्यवहार में द्वैत से ही अद्वैत को साधा जाता है। व्यवहार रूपी द्वैत से परमार्थ रूपी अद्वैत को साधा जाता है। तो साधन द्वैत है, साध्य अद्वैत है।
Traditional India, as any other traditions, place emphasis on the transmission between master and disciple, because knowledge is not only a theoretical matter, it's also a matter of realization, and you cannot realize outside of a spiritual, intimate relationship with a person who is the embodiment of that knowledge. In other words, under normal circumstances, there are always exceptions, of course. You cannot just read into a book, for example, and realize the Atman or realize the supreme truth. There is need for mediation in the form of a human being, and moreover, the oral communication of the truth through the master particularly has a particular power, a particular effectiveness that is not available under normal circumstances through other channels.
हिंदुइज्म जो हिंदू मैथोलॉजी है ये बहुत प्राचीन है, अनादि है। स्वयं भगवान कृष्ण ने कहा है गीता में, इमं विवस्वते योगम प्रोक्तवानहम अव्ययम विवस्वान मनवे प्राह मनुरिक्ष्वा कवे ब्रवीत। मैं यह ज्ञान नहीं दे रहा हूँ, यह ज्ञान पहले भी विवस्वान सूर्य ने मनु को दिया था, मनु ने इक्ष्वाकु को दिया था और इक्ष्वाकु के द्वारा ये यहाँ तक आया। बीच में कुछ अवरोध आने से यह ज्ञान लुप्त हो गया, नष्ट हो गया। मैं उसको पुनः प्रकट कर रहा हूँ। तो ज्ञान अनादि है, उसके उद्धार के लिए बीच बीच में ईश्वर को एक अपना प्रयास करना पड़ता है, क्योंकि ये जीवों के अल्प प्रयास से ये चीज़ें नहीं हो सकती। इसके लिए एक महनीय प्रयास की आवश्यकता होती है, और वह शक्ति ईश्वर में ही है। वही ईश्वर की जो शक्ति है वह गुरु के रूप में आती है।
आचार्याद्धैव विद्या साधिष्ठा प्रापत्। अस्माभिः ग्रन्थान् दृष्ट्वापि अध्येतुं शक्यते, परं ग्रन्थेभ्यः यत् तत्त्वमागच्छति तत् तत्त्वं मनसि नैव संलग्नं भवति। समुद्रे जलमस्ति, तदेव जलं सूर्यकिरणैः मेघेषु समागच्छति, मेघेभ्यः वृष्टिः समायाति, तया वृष्ट्या तज्जलेन वयं जीवामः, परं साक्षात् समुद्रात् वयं जलं पातुं न समर्थाः। यदि तदेव जलं सूर्यकिरणैः मेघद्वारा वृष्टिरागच्छति चेत् अमृतायमानं भवति। तदस्माकं जीवनाय, औषधीनां वनस्पतीनां च जीवनाय भवति। एवमेव ग्रन्थस्थो विषयः अस्माकं कल्याणाय न भवति। ग्रन्थेभ्यः गुरवः सम्यक् समधीत्य तत्तत्त्वं यदि अस्मभ्यमुपदिशन्ति तद् मेघजन्य वृष्टिजलमिव अमृतायमानं भवति इति हेतोः अस्माकं मते आचार्य परंपरा प्राप्ता आसीत्। सर्वेपि आचार्याः सगुरुका एव आसन्। अतएव नारायणं, पद्मभुवं, वसिष्ठं, शक्तिञ्च तत्पुत्र पराशरञ्च, व्यासं, शुकं, गौडपदं, महान्तं, गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रम्, अथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यम्, अथास्य पद्मपादहस्तामलकञ्च शिष्यं तन्त्रोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततम् आनतोऽस्मि इति अस्माकं गुरुपरम्परा विराजते। गुरुपरम्परां विना विद्या कदापि न साधयितुं शक्यते। भगवता आदिनारायणेनापि गुरोः सकाशादेव स्वीकृतमासीत्। गुरोः सकाशादेव विद्या स्वीकृता। अतः अस्माभिः सर्वैः सगुरुकैर्भाव्यं गुरुं विना कदापि गतिरेव नास्ति। तस्मात् अस्माकं मते गुरुपरम्परा अतीव प्रबलतमा विद्यते। ओम।
पहला होता है लिख के देने वाला एक मंत्र, एक दूसरा होता है वाचिक, तीसरा होता है आँख से, ये भी एक दीक्षा होती है, चौथी होती है मानसिक। जी, इनका अपना अपना महत्व है।
Something is destroyed, that is the ego in the negative sense of the term, and something is given, which is the true selfhood, the true self. But in order for this to happen, there has to be a death precisely to the egos and to the values of the ego, to the jiva, and to the illusions of the jiva, and to the illusions of superimposition upon the atman, and so forth. So the initiation is the means or the grace whereby this becomes possible, because it's not possible to transcend one's little self through the energy and the means of the little self itself. There's a self-contradiction here. And therefore there is need for a channel of grace which is provided through the tradition and through the initiation and through the passing of the spiritual power through the spiritual master. So that's the deepest meaning of initiation. That's the transmission of a power of realization or self-realization that is passed through a line of transmission.
आपके जीवन की जो नाव है, हम समुद्र में डाल दें आपको, लेकिन उसको खेने वाला पतवार जब तक नहीं मिलेगा कोई, तो आपकी नाव कहाँ जाएगी, भटकती रहेगी इधर उधर। तो उसको किनारे पे पहुँचाने के लिए हमको जो माध्यम होता है वो हमारे गुरु होते हैं। ये है हमारे जीवन के लिए गुरु बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है। और इस तरह के गुरु मिलना, सद्गुरु मिलना, ये भी बड़ी बात है। और जीवन में तो बहुत से लोग मिलते हैं जो गुरु बनने के लिए आतुर होते हैं, लेकिन उचित गुरु और उचित शिष्य का पात्र का चयन करना भी एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। अच्छे गुरु को पाने के लिए हमको अनेकों जन्मों से तप करना पड़ता है, ध्यान करना पड़ता है। हमारे पुण्यों का जो अर्जन होता है वो अच्छे माता पिता, उचित संतान, उचित गुरु का मिलना बहुत दुर्लभ है।
The world of the Sanatana Dharma, the world of Hinduism, is a very wide and inclusive and diverse world, but that doesn't mean that it includes everything. There are intellectual and spiritual stands or positions that are contradictory traditionally with the overall Hindu world view. So the criteria are, on the one hand, traditional, doctrinal, that is, any kind of teaching that flagrantly, directly contradict the Upanishad, the Veda, or the teachings of the great masters of the past is obviously off the mark. is obviously to be cast aside. And there are also criteria that are perhaps more subtle, that has to do with the fruits, the spiritual fruits of a particular master or particular path. In other words, the real fruits should be spiritual realization, precisely, realization of the self, and some sort of, or at the very least, some sort of distance vis-à-vis oneself, or transcendence of the little self. So the fruits of an authentic Hindu spirituality should be in conformity with the overall spiritual ambience of traditional India, which is made, of course, of piety, which is made of the sense of the sacred, which is made, of course, of the basic virtues that are also, according to the greatest master, including Shankaracharya, the preconditions for any spiritual work.
अयं च विषयः सर्वत्र निर्णीतो विद्यते यो यत्र अधिकृतः यः यस्य शास्त्रस्य तत्त्वं सम्यक् जानाति स एव तस्मिन् शास्त्रे तत्त्वं वक्तुं प्रभवति यो न जानाति स न प्रभवति। यदि कश्चन रसशास्त्रं जानीयात् रसं प्रति प्रवक्तुं प्रभवेत्। एवं आध्यात्मिकं शास्त्रं यदि अनुभवतः जानीयात् तदानीं स एव तत्र प्रभवेत्। यो यच्छास्त्रं तत्त्वतो न जानाति तेन तस्मिन् शास्त्रे तद्विषये यत्किञ्चित् अधरस्पन्दोऽपि कर्तुं नैव शक्यः। तस्मात् येषाम् अद्वैतात्मसाक्षात्कारानुभूतिः सर्वदा विद्यते त एव वेदान्तविषये प्रवचनं कर्तुं प्रभवन्ति। तथा येषां धर्मे निष्ठा येषाम् अनुष्ठाने निष्ठा त एव धर्मं प्रति किञ्चित् वक्तुं प्रभवन्ति। येषाम् एतादृशनिष्ठा द्वयमेव नास्ति न ते धर्मे वा ब्रह्मणि वा यत्किञ्चित् वक्तुं नैव समर्थाः। तस्मात् धर्मब्रह्मनिष्ठैरेव अस्माकम् आध्यात्मिकशास्त्राणि प्रवक्तव्यानीति शास्त्रसिद्धान्तसारः। ओम।
आवश्यकता ये है कि गुरु शिष्य को उपनिषदों का अर्थ बतलाते हैं। तो उपनिषद ब्रह्म का जानने की आँख है और गुरु सूर्य है। तो बिना सूर्य के प्रकाश के आप किसी वस्तु को देख नहीं सकते। इसलिए गुरु वेद के अर्थ का ठीक ठीक अनुभव कराते हैं।
Coming across Advaita Vedanta was nearly an instantaneous falling in love with it. Well, I went through university and read few things in my life, and what I found is that practically all of that was mostly describing things and describing the relations between things, but it wasn't really giving me an answer what those things are. What are they in essence? Who am I ultimately?
Knowledge is, first of all, essentially self-knowledge, meaning the knowledge of the self by the self. By self is meant, of course, the Paramatman, the Supreme Self, the Divine Self, the Universal Self, because only the self can know the self. But in our universe at all, that is primarily the prerogative of the human being, not the exclusive one, but the primary one in our universe on this earth. And therefore the utmost, most important task at hand for a human being is to realize the self, that is to know the self. That's why we are in this universe, to become delivered, to become mukti, That's what knowledge is ultimately. And knowledge is knowledge by identity, because that which we know is that we are. It's not as we create something or discover something or look for something that is elsewhere. Knowledge means identification with that which we truly are. There's of course the wonderful symbol in Shankaracharya and others of the necklace, the man who is running looking for his necklace, and he realized that his necklace has been all along around his neck. That's the self. The self has always been the self. We just have to discover that that's what we truly are.
वस्तुतः जीव के दुखों का कारण अज्ञान है। अज्ञान का नाश कर्म से नहीं हो सकता, ज्ञान से ही हो सकता है। हमको रस्सी में सर्प दिखलाई पड़ रहा है, तो ये अज्ञान से दिख रहा है, तो इसका अंत रस्सी के ज्ञान से होगा। तो परमात्मा के ज्ञान से अज्ञान की निवृत्ति होगी। इसीलिए हम लोग ये मानते हैं कि ज्ञान ही मनुष्य के मोक्ष का कारण है।
It's not contradictory at all to even to modern science. I mean, modern science, as obviously as far as as I know, and it's often it seemed to me that it's just a matter of using different language. I mean, in Vedantic teaching, well, they talk about karma or law of action. In modern science, genetics, we talk about genetics and genes and DNA and carrying the genetic material, which then develops into a being which has certain characteristics and certain tendencies and so on. I don't think that there is any discrepancy with actually Vedantic teaching. It's just that it's often, of course, confused and taken so literally. So when we talk even about, rebirth is the, I suppose, the main subject that is often talked about and disputed. But if it's taken on a literal level, of course, it makes no sense at all. But if it's taken on a level of transformation of forms and a transformation of energy
and unity of life.
Of course, there is nothing too strange about it, really. I mean, even in physics, we know that energy cannot be actually neither created nor destroyed. It only changes its form. So why would it be perfectly okay to take that as a true statement because it comes from the physics and science, and it's not okay to take it from Vedantic teaching? I really don't see any discrepancy. I think it's just different ways of examining the world and using a very different language.
मोक्षो नाम नित्यसिद्धः आत्मस्वरूपमेव विद्यते। निवृत्तिरात्मा मोहस्य ज्ञातत्वे नोपलक्षितः इति वार्तिककाराः। आत्मैव मोक्षः। तादृश आत्मनः स्वरूपाधिगमः सम्यक् कर्तव्यः। अज्ञाननिवृत्त्युपलक्षित आत्मा यथा अस्माभिः प्रतिक्षणमनुसन्धीयेत तदैव मोक्षः इति व्यपदिश्यते। वस्तुतः बद्धमोक्षव्यवस्थैव नास्ति, यतः बन्धस्य मिथ्यात्वात्। यदि बन्धः सत्यः स्यात् कदापि तस्मात् मुक्तिरेव न स्यात्। स्वयं सर्वेपि मुक्ता एव सन्ति, परं मुक्तानामपि वयं बद्धा इति भ्रान्तिः।
I open my eyes and there is the world. And the question rises, what is this world? Why is it there? What is my relationship with it? And the Vedanta gradually opens this grand view, which tells, right, that you are not what you're seeing. You cannot be what you see, hear, touch, taste, or smell, which are 5 senses that we get our information about the world. Even if you put telescopes and microscopes or whatever, it is just extension of these senses. But the knowledge which comes is the knowledge of the world, not knowledge of myself. And this is what I wanted, knowledge of myself. Who am I? What is my relationship with this? And the Vedanta really points the way. And it says, if you want to understand who you are, then you have to first understand the world where you happen to be. And then in that examination, discover your relationship with it. And in doing that, you are also forced to, as it were, look inside. Because senses are looking out, but behind those senses is the mind. But behind the mind is this discriminating faculty, right, which determines this is right or that is wrong, or doesn't say anything when there is just a silence and you have a sense of being, not being somebody or something, but just being. And that is a indescribable experience, you could say, even though it is not, being oneself couldn't be an experience. You can experience something outside yourself, but how can you experience yourself? You only can be yourself. And most of the time we find, I'm Danny, right, which is just a name, right? And I'm 6'2" and eyes blue, right? And I always joke about it, right? But really, who am I? Right? Behind that name, behind that form, behind that mind, behind the heart, as we say, who is that observer? Right? And
where this observer has arose, where did the observer come from?
Yeah, I know it is formless, right? When I try to look in, you cannot find the center. Where is the center? And yet I know that I am. It really is a way of life. It's how you live, right? Because how you live will definitely have effect on your emotional and intellectual state. What is important is knowledge, right? Knowledge. We Westerners always think knowledge comes from outside, right? But in Vedanta, the traditional message from the scriptures is that the knowledge is already within, and the education is actually a process of uncovering that which is already there within oneself. Yes, discipline is necessary in Vedanta to receive the essence of Vedantic teaching. And that's, that's not so easy.
That's right.
You cannot have a binge party or whatever and tomorrow apply yourself to discovering who you are.
Finest meditation.
Because it does, in this part, introduce you almost fairly quickly, right, to meditation, right, where you make an effort to bring this mind, which is constantly distracted through the 5 senses, to bring it in, as it were, to a reflective stage, so that you can consider things in themselves, as it were, right? Like in Platonic philosophy, the world of ideas, right? Where you are not supported by the work of the senses.
योग के 8 अंग हैं। यम, नियम, आसन, प्राणायाम, प्रत्याहार, धारणा, ध्यान, समाधि। तो ये जो 7 है वो समाधि के लिए अंग है। तो समाधि जब होगी तो हमारे चित्त में किसी प्रकार का विचार नहीं रहेगा, चित्त शांत हो जाएगा। उस शांत चित्त से ही हम ध्यान, भजन या अनुभूति कर सकते हैं, इसलिए उसकी आवश्यकता है। लेकिन ये जरूरी नहीं है कि सब लोग आसन करने लगे, प्राणायाम करने लगे, वैसे भी योग हो जाता है।
तो भगवान, अगर किसी को ये नहीं पता ये जो स्टेप्स है योग में, तो फिर वो कैसे मोक्ष की प्राप्ति होगी?
गुरु कृपा से हो जाएगी। ऐसे हो जाएगी कि गुरु आपको समझा देंगे कि समाधि क्या है। आप समझ लीजिए कि आप गाढ़ी नींद में सोई हैं, किसी नई जगह जाकर सो गए, और आप सोने के बाद उठ रही हैं, तब तक आपको पता नहीं है कि मैं कहाँ हूँ और कौन हूँ, लेकिन नींद खत्म हो चुकी है और जागृत शुरू नहीं हुई है। जागृत होने पर ही मैं महिला हूँ, मैं कहाँ हूँ, ये आपको भान होगा। तो वो जागृत आई नहीं है, नींद है नहीं, तो वो अवस्था समाधि।
मतलब उस दोनों का जो बीच का जो है
वो समाधि,
वो समाधि है।
गुरु समझा देगा। रोज समाधि लग रही तुम्हारी, अब जैसे हम लोग यहाँ बैठे हैं, अपना आपस में सत्संग कर रहे हैं, कोई एकाएक आ जाए और खट कर दे तो हमारा ध्यान उधर जाएगा। तो हमारा यहाँ का ध्यान मिटा नहीं, यहाँ का ध्यान मिट गया और वहाँ का शुरू नहीं हुआ। उसके बीच में न यहाँ है न वहाँ है।
और भगवान जैसे
इसलिए जो रासलीला की बात आती है कि 2 गोपियों के बीच में एक कृष्ण थे, तो 2 वृत्तियों के बीच में एक आत्मा है, निर्विकल्प रूप है। 2 गोपी बीच बीच कहना हर जगह हो रहा है। घटाकार वृत्ति आई और खत्म हो गई, पटाकार वृत्ति शुरू नहीं हुई। उस समय न घटाकार है न पटाकार, निराकार है ना।
The methods of reaching knowledge, or self-knowledge rather, being understood, of course, that self here means the universal divine self, that is the substratum and the subject and the self of all selves. The methods of reaching knowledge or self-knowledge are many. There are many paths, there are many sadhanas, there are many yogas and so forth, but the highest form of knowledge, the highest method rather, according to authorities such as Adi Shankaracharya, is of course through discrimination, viveka, discrimination between that which is the true self, that which is the real self, and that which is not, that which is a superimposition or superimpositions upon the self. So this discernment or discrimination is the highest form of self-knowledge, but there are other ways of knowledge. In a sense, any path in life is potentially or virtually an avenue for self-knowledge.
Service to my Gurudev is my sadhana, and that's where the path of karma comes. To do that service, not thinking about what anybody thinks about me. No, it doesn't matter. Just keep doing what I've been instructed to do by my Guru only. And when I'm doing that, that becomes a path of karma, because karma is action. Karma doesn't mean sitting in one place. Now, if I start sitting in one place and doing my japa, that's with my mala and my mantra, I am not doing my duty. To do my duty, I have to get there onto the field and do it. Keeping the mantra in my mind, and the mantra keeps resonating in my mind, and I'm doing my action. So the path is karma, but I'm still resonating with my mantra. So the sadhana is a combination of both.
दिनचर्या ब्रह्म मुहूर्त में उठना ही अनिवार्य है, आध्यात्मिक दृष्टि से, स्वास्थ्य की दृष्टि से, पर्यावरण की दृष्टि से। प्रातःकालीन जो ब्रह्म मुहूर्त में वातावरण होता है, हवा होती है, ऑक्सीजन होती है, उससे मनुष्य के स्वास्थ्य पर बहुत असर पड़ता है। उससे एक दिनचर्या की शुरुआत हो जाती है कि आपको प्रातः उठ के स्नान करके, भगवान का ध्यान करके, दर्शन करके, अपना प्राणायाम करके, योग करके, आसन करके, भगवान सूर्य नारायण को जल अर्पण तर्पण करके, फिर अपना संध्या गुरु मंत्र का दिया हुआ जाप, उसके बाद जो आश्रम से संबंधित कार्य होते हैं वो भी हमारा एक कर्तव्य है कि हमको जो जिम्मेदारी दी गई है उसका निर्वाह करना अनिवार्य होता है। उसको करना भी एक हमारी दिनचर्या में शामिल होता है। आए हुए अतिथियों का स्वागत करना, जो गुरु दर्शन के लिए आते हैं उनकी भावनाओं को ध्यान रखना। कई ऐसी समस्याएं भी आती हैं जिनको हम अपने बल से, बुद्धि से, आत्मबल से, मनोबल से सुलझा सकते हैं, लोगों को समझा सकते हैं, उनको सलाह दे सकते हैं, उनकी जो समस्याएं हैं उनको जितना समुचित हो सकता है उनको हल कर सकते हैं। ये दिनचर्या में होता है। सायंकालीन फिर भगवती का मंदिर का दर्शन करना, आरती का, उसके बाद आकर के स्नान संध्या करके रात्रि में थोड़ा सा ध्यान करना सोने से पहले आवश्यक है, क्योंकि हमारी दिन भर की जो दिनचर्या होती है व्यस्त में होती है। रात्रि को सोने से पहले भगवान का स्मरण करने से हम लोगों को शांति मिलती है। ये है दिनचर्या में।
Adivasis are the scheduled castes in India. They are otherwise known as the tribals. Gurudev has done a lot to serve the Adivasis. That has been his mission for a very, very long time. He has opened hospitals for them, he has opened schools for them, so that at least they can find a place in society. A woman is always looked down on in the scheduled caste, but in India, a woman is looked as the incarnation, or you can say a form of Ma Durga, who is the goddess. So when a woman is looked at as Ma Durga, what Gurudev thinks is by educating the girls, they will bring up society. If the mother is educated, her daughter is educated, and she becomes the first guru of her child. And what the daughter does is, when she grows up, she educates her child, and then she sees to it that the whole village is educated. Once the village is educated, it goes up into the society. So she makes such a difference in society today that just from that little child, you can see it goes up right up to the country.
I was in a disturbed frame of mind, my mom said, there's a Shankaracharya, let us go and meet him. So when I met him, the moment I looked at him, I could see that, some divine person, and he looked deep into my, I could feel that he's looking inside my soul. And after some moment, I got up and I said, Mom, I want to take Diksha from him. And that was the day, my life started in a different direction towards the Paramath Path. I never used to do a lot of puja before I met Guruji, and slowly through his discourses he made me realize what is right, what is wrong, how to do sadhanas, and I started realizing that doing meditation, japa, puja, the aradhanas, and the idol worship, going to the temples, worshipping everything, you are linked with the God and the Guru in the Atma form. Then with his discourses I realized that Guru and your Atma is same. And whenever we used to go to Guruji, we would think of some questions, and we would see when he would speak in his discourse, we would get those answers. So we asked Guruji, how do you know what we wanted to ask you? He would say that I could read your mind. So that is another way we could realize that he is Antaryami. He is Ghat Ghat Vasi, means Antaryami means he is everywhere, inside you also. So when he is inside you, he can read you. I used to be fear of the world, the people. My husband would not let me go to Guruji. And but then when I used to meet Guruji, I used to feel happy, peace, out of distress. I would feel this is my God. I would see him in a God form, and all my tensions would go away. That was one of the reasons I used to just run and go after Guruji, as the gopis used to run after Lord Krishna. Gurudev has taught us that when we worship God in the temple or maybe a monument in our house, we are serving God by doing the puja, the aradhana. And once incident I would like to say, as I was in Kolkata and I was in front of the Bhagwati in Konnagar. I wanted to speak to Guruji about my distress. So I just told Bhagwati, please give me some moment with my Gurudev. And I was lucky in that crowd also, Guruji. I was able to go and speak to Guruji alone. After speaking to Guruji, when I was walking out, he just said, go and say thanks to Bhagwati. So that was the time I realized that Bhagwati and Guru is the same Atma.
वेदांत में केवल विचार होता है, वो तंत्र में उसी सिद्धांत को उपासना की प्रक्रिया से दोहराया जाता है। जैसे भगवती के अंग से अनेकों शक्तियाँ उत्पन्न हो जाती हैं और वो एक आवरण के क्रम से यंत्र में बैठ जाती हैं। फिर हम उनका प्रारंभ से पूजन करते करते वहाँ तक लाते हैं जहाँ भगवती है, और सबको उनमें विलीन कर देते हैं और फिर उनको अपनी आत्मा से अभिन्न समझ लेते हैं। इसका अर्थ ये है कि जिस परमात्मा से सारी सृष्टि हुई, वो सृष्टि परमात्मा से भिन्न नहीं है और वो परमात्मा हमारे आत्मा से भिन्न नहीं है। ये उपासना में तंत्र में आया।
Humankind is always humankind, whether in India or elsewhere. So there is always a certain law of gravity that is going to settle in at some point in history. Anything that comes to birth develops and then perishes. So, and the human being is always a human being. That which fascinates a human being in a particular country is going to also fascinate other human beings in other countries. And one has also to keep in mind that any tradition like the Hindu tradition was founded upon the presence of a spiritual and intellectual elite. That is, it was dependent upon the awareness and knowledge of people who were specially trained spiritually, intellectually, and were thereby the repositories of knowledge. With the gradual disappearance or weakening of this repository of knowledge, the society at large becomes more and more vulnerable to external influences that gradually corrode the integrity of the tradition. Finally, from a Hindu point of view itself, I mean, again, there is the doctrine of ages, the yugas, and therefore that which appears in a state of perfection cannot but go through phases of decay, which are represented literally or symbolically by the so-called 4 ages of mankind. So from any point of view, one shouldn't be surprised by the fact that even in India, some of the most superficial and worldly dimensions of the modern world become so prevalent.
ऐसा है कि बीज नाश नहीं होगा, कुछ लोग बचे रहेंगे और कुछ लोग कुछ दिनों के बाद फिर लौटेंगे।
तो वो कम भी बचे हैं तो भी ठीक, पर वापस आके और अपना परंपरा चलते रहेगी,
उसका नाश नहीं होगा।
अभी जैसे आप बताते हैं कि हम लोग जो है दूसरी ओर देखते हैं, जैसे बौद्ध धर्म है ये, तो अपना जो परंपरा है वो जैसे आप कह रहे हैं थोड़े लोग वापस आके उसको दोबारा।
ऐसा है कि आपके सामने कोई बात यदि सही बतला दे, उस समय आप उसको ना स्वीकार करें, लेकिन मन में तो बैठ जाएगी।
आपने कहा बीज है,
तो किसी दिन आप फिर लौट के आएंगे। तत्व पक्षपातो ही स्वभावो धियाम, बुद्धियों का स्वभाव है कि वे तत्व का पक्षपात करती है, जो सही बात है वो हृदय में बैठ जाती है। अब जो एक सज्जन थे, भारत के थे और ब्राह्मण भी थे, फ्रांस में राजदूत बने।
फ्रांस में? अच्छा।
तो फ्रांस के लोगों ने उनसे गीता के बारे में पूछना चाहा।
अच्छा,
तो वो कुछ जानते ही नहीं थे।
अच्छा, वो नहीं जानते थे।
वो तो आधुनिक शिक्षा से शिक्षित थे। तो उनसे पूछा गया भगवत गीता में क्या क्या लिखा है। उनको कहना पड़ा कि मैं दुर्भाग्य से भारतीय होते हुए भी, ब्राह्मण होते हुए भी गीता से वंचित हूँ। लेकिन उसको ग्लानि हुई कि जब ये लोग गीता के बारे में सोचते हैं तो मैं क्यों ना सोचूं।
अरे वाह।
फिर उसने अध्ययन शुरू किया।